Hey there, it's Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading for the week starting Monday, May the 17th through to the 23rd, 2021. I've had a number of people tell me that they've been feeling like they've been rocked a bit by the current energies, and it's certainly been a wild ride, but I hope that you're doing okay. And so because of that, I thought I would start the week with a card deck called Gateway Oracle Cards. I had to look at it because I couldn't remember, but it's very good when we're on the precipice of something. And the card that's just come up is Savouring Pleasure, which seems like an unusual one, but it's really reminding us to make time for bliss. I love that there's a picture of a bubble bath there, which is my definition of bliss. Not the only definition of bliss, but one of. And really make sure that we are scheduling time to enjoy our lives and actually being present when we do. It's very easy to go, yes, I'm going to go, I don't know, for a bike ride or go to the spa. But when we're there, we might spend the whole time thinking about all the things we've got to do later and what we should have said to that person. But that doesn't help because you're taking yourself out of the present moment. This is all about being present with those feelings of joy and pleasure and knowing that they have a place, instead of feeling like this is a waste of my time because I'm not being productive. Productivity is not everything. In fact, it's not really anything. At the end of your life, you'll realise. Tuesday's card is Beauty. This is a really interesting one. I don't speak about this idea a lot because it can be really triggering for a lot of people, but this reminds us that focusing on our appearance isn't going to bring us lasting satisfaction. It's not going to help us feel worthy. It's not going to help us achieve our goals or feel successful. So making sure we're not putting too much emphasis on external appearances. That's not to say that there's something wrong with enjoying, some people love hair and makeup and all that sort of thing, and great, more power to them, but it's not saying that there's something wrong with that. It's just saying if that is how you value your success, that is how you that's what you attach your self-worth to, that might be a little problematic because external stuff changes all the time. We don't have a lot of control over that. Not to mention the fact that it's not what people focus on when they think about all the things that you represent to them. Like, no one's going to stand up at your funeral and talk about that great skirt that you wear or anything like that. So about understanding the value of those sorts of things and making sure that we are not trying to chase idealistic standards that are not realistic. So that's Monday and Tuesday, two very different messages. I've just dropped this entire card deck, so I'm going to take that as a sign not to go with this one. I'll try this one instead for Wednesday. Interesting week so far. You just never know what's going to come up. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes my intuition will give me a bit of a clue, but two cards have come up. Very different, similar colours, sorry. So here we have Astara, reaching for the stars for your dreams. And this one here is Vanessa, which is about making a decision based on what your heart wants. So this Astara one, I like the fact that the name has star in it. Making sure you're not playing small. Sometimes when we try to achieve something, we deliberately lower the goalposts so we know we can achieve it. So there's less fear of failure triggering us. And so you might like to think about, am I working towards something that truly satisfies me, or am I working towards something because it will be easy and then I can tick the box? And then I'm wondering why I don't feel any lasting sense of satisfaction at the end of that. Making sure that you are on track for what you have set out to do. Maybe you've gone off track, or maybe you don't have any direction at all. Maybe you don't know where you're going. Maybe this is a good chance for you to start thinking about, what is it I want to work towards? And remember, when it comes to our goals, it's small steps in the right direction and what count. You don't have to be doing significant strides forward. It's just so long as you are moving in the right direction, and that's what the universe will recognise and support you with, which is far better than stagnancy. The other card here is Vanessa. Always thought this illustration was a little bit odd. Anyway, it says to make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? So if you're facing a decision right now, coming into alignment with what matches best with where I want to go, who I think I am, who I want to be, and really making decisions from that space rather than trying to make decisions from a place of What do people expect of me? What's going to get me the most money? What's going to look best on paper? What's going to offend the least amount of people? All those sorts of things. Really coming back to, what am I working towards here, and am I going in the right direction? So you can see those two cards are kind of related. They're both about moving in the right direction and your goals, that bigger term, bigger scale picture, I guess. Here we have Thursday, Lakshmi. I love this illustration. It's so sassy. It's bright future. That is the message. And in fact, the writing on this says it better than I ever could. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. Now, I know, and you know, that telling someone not to worry has never been effective. It's a bit like telling someone to calm down when they're upset. It doesn't do anything. So they're not trying to patronize you here. They're just saying, letting you know that the thing you're worried about, you don't need to worry about, which is true of generally, 90% of the things that we worry about, in fact. So maybe the best thing you can take from this is just taking a moment to look at your mindset and thinking about, is a lot of my mental space going on things that I can't actually control, or worrying about things that the worrying is not going to be effective. It's not helping me plan. It's not helping me protect myself. Maybe I need to pull my thoughts away from that and put my attention more on being in flow with where I am right now, being more present, just adjusting the amount of time that you spend consumed by trying to control things that you cannot control, and not being present in what you can control, which is how you feel right now. To an extent, not all of our feelings can be chosen. I should point that out. There are a lot of people who say you can choose your feelings, but I'm not sure personally. I'm not sure that's true. Certainly not in my experience. There are things we can do to influence our feelings, of course. So Saturday here is uplift your thoughts, another mindset message here. So that's coming in strong, isn't it? And this is, it actually says focus your attention on the many blessings that surround you. So this is not to say that you should ignore the fact that there are lots of parts of your life that are not super satisfying at the moment, that are not where you want them to be, that are challenging. It's just saying that there are still parts of your life that are going well. You still have lovely people around you who care about you. Maybe you still have a job you like. Maybe you still have, I don't know, a roof over your head. Whatever it is, focusing on that. Now, it isn't toxic positivity. It's not saying you should celebrate those things and ignore the others. It's just saying make sure you're not spending a disproportionate amount of time on the things that are not yet where you want them to be, instead of and neglecting to spend time being grateful for the things that are going great. Yeah, I think that probably summed it up quite well. And also, I should mention with that card, what comes up a lot for me is around the idea of optimism versus positivity. Positivity, I think sometimes I'm painting in very broad brushstrokes here, but positivity is often used as a way of pretending everything's beautiful when it's not. That's not how I think of it. That's how many people put it. And just be positive. As opposed to optimism, which is about you recognise that things are a bit crap right now, but that you recognise also there is hope for the future. You believe that things can change. So optimism is really something that's more realistic for me. I can always have hope, even if things seem really challenging right now. It doesn't call me to deny the reality of my situation right now, in the same way that positivity sometimes is wielded. So this might be asking you to just have hope for the future, if that's the best thing you can do right now. And when we have hope for the future, we don't need to know exactly how things are going to play out. We just need to have a degree of trust in the universe and hope that they can, rather than letting that negative thought spiral convince us that nothing will ever change and this is the way it's going to be forever. Sunday's card is totally, actually, I'm just going to go back. I feel like I've missed a day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, I have. This is actually Saturday's card. Sorry, counting not my strong suit, clearly. It's wedding. This is a great card. If I'm ever doing a personal reading for someone who is single, looking for their a healthy long-term relationship, this is obviously the best card they can possibly get. It's not from the relationship card deck though, but it does come up. So if you are in that position, then that's what you need to know right now, that there is a healthy long-term commitment in your future. You don't have to get married. Not everybody's a fan of marriage. It just speaks to a committed relationship. If you are already married or already in a healthy long-term relationship, this might be asking you to keep nourishing your relationship. Have you maybe not given it a lot of focus lately because you've been busy? I get it, we all do that, life is busy. Making sure you're still celebrating your relationships, spending time really connecting on each other, not just sitting on your phones when you're spending time together. That has its place in small doses, of course. What are some other ways this comes up? I think it's really just about committed relationships, and something that's coming through for me now is also people who are afraid of commitment. Now, for years I wore the badge of commitment phobe, made quite a few jokes out of it, thought it was quite funny, and it wasn't until I started doing this work that I realised it actually wasn't a fear of commitment that was coming up. It was a fear of all the ideas that I had shackled to commitment. The fear that if you get into a committed relationship, you'll be trapped, you'll lose your identity, you'll lose all your power. And there are a variety of past life reasons I had that fear, and some this life stuff which I won't get into. But if you're interested in knowing more about this, if you go to my website, I have written a blog post about it. I don't know what you would search to find it, but I imagine commitment, fear of commitment would probably be a pretty good start. So if you are wearing the badge of fear of commitment, you might like to ask yourself, what is it specifically I'm worried about? What does a relationship mean to me? What ideas about relationships have I taken on board that maybe aren't serving me? Maybe that's where the fear is, and maybe that's where the work and the healing is to be done. And feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to do some work around that. I've worked with a lot of people who have similar stuff going on, because as energy healers, we tend to attract people who are mirroring our stuff. And trust me, I'm married now. If I can work through that stuff and feel totally comfortable in a committed long-term relationship, then anyone can, regardless of what you've been through. So maybe your ideas of commitment are what you need to be looking at right now, rather than the commitment itself. Some ideas you might have taken on about it. How have I ended up? I have skipped a day. How have I done this? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, it looks like I'm going to be doubling up on one of my card decks. How did this happen? I'm so sorry. I don't know how I did this. Never mind. Shuffling now for Sunday. I think I know what it is. Actually, we had 2 cards for Wednesday. I'm not making excuses here. We had 2 cards for Wednesday, and I think I just went, oh, we've got 7, we must be done. Here we go. Prosperity is Sunday's message. Now, this angel is holding a cornucopia of gold. So yes, money does come through largely here, but it doesn't have to be. It can be abundance in a more general sense. Abundance of opportunities, abundance of options, abundance of your material needs, abundance of emotional resources that you need. So those could be the things that are coming through here. But yes, it could be about money as well. You might like to examine your ideas about money. If you find that every time you get money, you keep losing it, there could be some blocks in your energy around that, some discomfort around the idea of money. And let's face it, as a society, we've got a lot of negative ideas about money that are handed down and transmitted, which don't serve us. The idea that money is something that corrupts, that's okay, that is true for some people, but for most of us it is not. It's simply a means to an end. So you might like to look at whether you've got some stuff around money that could be playing out for you right now. Maybe you are declining an opportunity, such as a job, because you have some ideas that a person like you will never be rich. Or maybe you are choosing an opportunity because of the money it represents instead of the value that it actually means to you. Because the money that sometimes we go for, and I've done this, I once chose a job because it paid well, but the impact it had on my emotional health meant that I spent a lot of money on holistic healers trying to recover from that experience. So it's a bit odd. It's a bit like trying to save money by not spending money on our health and then getting ill. So you have to spend all the money to try and get back your health. Might be something to think about. These are not hard and fast rules. They're just ideas I'm throwing out. So yeah, what is stopping you from prospering at the moment? There might be, maybe you're trying to build something up at the moment and it's just a matter of taking time, and maybe you just need this simple reminder that things will come through for you. Keep doing the work. Trust your intuition on that. So let us look at what we've got here. A lot around goals and asking us to look at the direction that we're moving in and making sure it's in alignment with what's right for us, particularly with these Wednesday cards here. Our mindset with this worrying message, it sounds bad, a worrying message, like it's the message is going to cause worry, which of course it's not, and the uplift your thoughts as well. And yeah, I think that's it. The others are a little bit random, but no less valuable. So hopefully you've taken something from this that will help you set you up well for the week ahead, help you feel like you've got some energetic preparation, I guess. And don't forget that each card goes up on my social media as well, so you can get a different take perhaps, or a new understanding or a refresher when each card goes up. My Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is called One Grounded Angel. If you want to work with me or know more about the work I do energy healing. I do bring in the cards, of course. I combine them together because they do complement each other quite nicely. The cards show us what needs to be worked on. The energy healing comes through to do just that, to clear where we're stuck and to bring in energy to support us as we move forward. You can find out more information about all of that at my website, www.onegroundedangel.com. And yes, I am based in Australia. I'm actually from New Zealand, but I live in Australia. However, I have very few clients in Australia. Most of my clients are in the US and the UK. So please don't be thinking that wherever you are is going to be a problem. Geography is not an issue whatsoever. Time zones, not so much of a problem. Luckily, our time zone works pretty well. We can normally work around other countries pretty well. So thanks for being here with me today. I hope this sets you up nicely for the week ahead, and I'll be back next week to read for you again. Take care, everybody.